Hey everybody, welcome back to American History with Mr. Finn. I am going to tell you a little bit more about the 20s today, really about the life we had looked at the changing of society and kind of coming into this modern era where people had disposable income and they had factory-like jobs, they had sports events they were going to, we had new music and dance halls, and women were out and about doing things. They had gained the right to vote by the time we get to the 1920s. So society was changing, but part of that society is, well, it's a change, but something that does come back again, is kind of a cornerstone to the 1920s. So today's a little bit short, but we do have a quiz today. So let's start. Start with this. Prohibition. Prohibition means that by 1920, the 18th Amendment, I think it was 1919, alcohol is banned. What does that mean? It means it's illegal. Alcohol is illegal. It has been banned. It is no alcohol. You cannot have it. It corrodes society. Alcohol was viewed as causing all of the bad things that happen. So the people who were prohibitionists thought that people who drank would then do violent acts, abuse of children, spousal abuse. They would be a waste of a human being, a drag on society, wouldn't have a job. And they thought, listen, alcohol is the whole problem. If we get rid of alcohol, all of society will be better. And so eventually, this idea of prohibition was not new. It started in the late 1800s, the temperance movement, suffrage movement, all this other stuff. But by the time we get to 1919, it had gained enough steam that it becomes the law. Alcohol is now illegal in the United States of America. Seems crazy to us because think about it. If you watch TV, the different ads, everywhere you look, it's, different, a beer commercial here or, what is it called? Like an advertisement on like jerseys and whatever. It's kind of everywhere. And so you got to put yourself in the perspective or the idea that in the 1920s, there was no alcohol. It was illegal. You could not go out and buy it, which is going to cause a problem. Because just because alcohol is illegal in the United States, it doesn't stop one thing, and that is people. People want it. Just because something's illegal doesn't mean that you can't get it, that you stop wanting it. And that is the case for the 1920s. People in America still wanted alcohol, but they just couldn't go to stores to buy it. So how do they get it? Well, brings us to this side of the board with speakeasies and something called bootlegging. So I guess let's start with bootlegging because this will take us to speakeasy. So bootlegging is the illegal transportation of booze, as they would probably call it, but we do not, alcohol, into the U.S., into USA. So bootlegging becomes it's a crime, but the idea is we're going to try and transport alcohol into the United States, or even transport it from state to state, from place to place. If you were transporting alcohol in general, whether it was coming into the country or whether you were taking it from here to there inside the country, that is called bootlegging. Now, it's just running of alcohol into our country. And so, you start to see bootleggers. We'll get to bootlegging. Bootleggers would be on the low rung of what's going to be a major problem. But let's talk about where this alcohol gets to, and that is speakeasies. And these are going to be not really secret clubs. I mean, I guess they're kind of secret clubs. Let's say how we'll define it is clubs that sell alcohol. All right? But they're secret, and you must speak easy about it, because if not, the police will come and bust up the whole place. So this might be a bar or a dance hall or a club or something where you could go and you knew that, hey, we have alcohol here. Go ahead, you can buy this alcohol here. Good, good, good. But don't tell the police. Don't tell anyone. Speak easy about it. So these speakeasies start popping up in major cities, and people who wanted to hang out still and go to clubs and dance and do stuff would go to these speakeasies, and then it would be like you were just hanging out like normal without prohibition having ever happened at all. So as this goes, bars and clubs and whatever would rise up. The police might find out, and they might, close it down, things like that. But here, let's get back to the real problem. Prohibition is making alcohol illegal. People still want it. Who now is going to be in control then? If I sell you alcohol, I can make a lot of money. It is illegal. You need to get it from someone. I can up the price. If I can sell you alcohol, you'll give me whatever you have in order to get it if you want it. And so, prohibition is actually going to cause something. And that is going to be what we're going to see in the 1920s is going to be a rise. A rise of what? A rise of organized. Oh, I was going to say organization. Organized crime. All right, organized crime. What does that mean? Well, you can have crime. Anybody can go commit a crime. That is just crime. Organized crime is where there is basically a gang, or in this case we would see like the mafia, pop up, and they would have an organization. This is how we're going to do this. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. I'm the person in charge. Bootleggers, you're going to bring the alcohol in. We're going to pay off the police officers so that they don't bust up our club. We know we have lots of money. We're organized. We know what we're doing. We're making a lot of money here, but it is also a crime. We're doing something illegal because we are selling alcohol. But along with this organized crime, what we're going to see is corruption. And when I mean, obviously crime and corruption go hand in hand, but these people who are making, or selling the alcohol, these gangsters who are doing this, are going to, like I said, pay off police officers, pay off judges, pay money to people to protect their interest in alcohol so that they don't get their clubs, bashed up and closed down. Which means the corruption is really happening, corruption of, let's just say the whole thing, the political system. So what does that mean? The political system, the corruption of the political system is like I just said. I am a gangster. I am selling illegal alcohol. I have clubs. I have bootleggers who work for me. I'm bringing it in from Canada. I'm bringing it in from Mexico or overseas or whatever. I have a lot of money that I can make. How do I protect that business that I have made of selling illegal alcohol? Well, let's make sure that no police officers come and close down my club. So I'm paying a little bit of money each week to these police officers. They come in, they're like, hey, thanks for my weekly payoff. Oh, I'll have a drink and I'll go on my way. Because the police officers, some of them wanted alcohol too. And so who else? Like I said, the judges. Well, I'm going to pay off the judges. In case I get arrested, the judges will be like, nope, no crime here. Innocent, on your way. So you start to see like our entire system, the political system, the everyday people, police officers, judges, politicians in Washington, everything, taking money from these gangsters, this crime, or these crime organizations. Because here's the deal. Organized crime. It's organized because there is major money involved. Think about this. Alcohol is illegal today, but one person is selling, beer, and they're the one person in charge of it. Think about how many, we just said this, think about how many advertisements you see. Think about how many you know, how many areas inside gas stations and stuff have alcohol in them. And now all of the money that everybody every day buys on alcohol goes to this organized crime family. And they make a ton of money, because think about it, all of the alcohol is illegal. People want it, people have it every day. People are, you know, some people abuse it, some people don't. I mean, it's a bad thing, some way, some not. I mean, like, that's a judgment thing for anyone to discuss or decide on their own. But the one thing that we do know is that America will drink alcohol, and they will purchase it at a high rate. And so, the 1920s is this era where things are changing. People are at dance clubs. There's major organized crime happening in major cities across America. We're going to start to see a lot of violence, which is going to have a pushback against the idea of prohibition. Because people are going to start to say, like, listen, this was supposed to solve all the problems in society, right? We get rid of alcohol, everything's supposed to be perfect. However, they get rid of it, all of a sudden organized crime steps in and starts handling the alcohol business. You start to see bootlegging, speakeasies popping up, a lot of people trying to make their own alcohol, which in a lot of cases would be poison, and you know, that would not be good. So all of these negative things start to happen because of prohibition that people who were prohibitionists did not see coming. And so that was one part of the 1920s to kind of go along with what we talked about last time with this change in society and the way things are going. But like I said, number 1 through 5, because we got a quiz. It's quiz day. It's quiz day. 1 through 5. And I got my book and a table. 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. Let's go way back. I got my book right here, so here we go. I did this in my other class, so I'm way back to start. Now, ooh, you might know this. If you have government, then you're going to be in luck for this one. Number 1, this is the term that means a two-house legislature. This is the term that means a two-house legislature for number 1. Goes way back. Here we go. Moving forward. We'll go back and we'll start moving forward now. We're still in, I mean, I don't want to stay in the revolutionary times here. Oh, you know what? This actually is kind of what we were talking about a couple classes ago. Number 2, the United States of America. What is our economic system called? Our economic system. What do we operate on? Our economic system here in America, the United States of America, what is that called? What is that called? Oh, I like this one. We just talked about prohibition, meaning outlawing alcohol. Number 3 is, what did you call someone who wanted to outlaw slavery? Someone who thought slavery was the worst, and we need to get rid of it, and we are going to put a stop to it. Generally Northerners. People who believed that slavery was bad and should be ended. What were those people called during that time period of the early mid 1800s? Ooh, that's a tough question. Do I want to do that one? Let's do this one instead. I feel like I asked this question a couple times, but if I did, you're in luck. Number 4. Number 4 is the name of the slave who sued his owner for his freedom. If you remember, this slave had been taken into free territory. He then said, because I was taken there, I am now free, and tried to sue for his freedom. He did not end up winning the court case. He did gain his freedom in the end, though, eventually, but not with the court case. What are we on, 5? Oh, man. I feel like we're way back. Let me go up. Let me move it up. Because that was a lot. I mean, doesn't matter. I mean, you need to know it all anyway. But let's get closer to, we can do this. Let's do a current one, or a very current one. Ooh, I love this one. Number 5. Number 5 is when you have to pay for wrongdoing. The term to pay for wrongdoing, number 5, to put it in context, and we'll get back to this. After World War I, the Allies, the United States, France, England, wanted to take it out on Germany and made them pay for wrongdoing, and that term is the answer to number 5. Anyway, get this to me today with your notes for attendance and participation purposes, and I will see you next class.